Hi there everyone, my name's Wayne, I'm the Armchair Red and welcome to my channel. So the Premier League is back and that means only one thing, the return of the Armchair Prediction Challenge. So this week we will be doing Game Week 30 predictions, but before we jump into that, let's take a look back at what happened in Game Week 29. So if you remember, going into Game Week 29, the community had built up a rather substantial lead over me in terms of the scoring. They were leading 26 points to 20. I had 6 points I needed to make up, so it's a lot of work to do from my side. Last Game Week 29's challenger was Alafi Andreas from Namibia. Alafi, thank you again for sending in your predictions. And the way it turned out, finally, I managed to win a challenge. So Lafi got 1 point right, or 1 point for a correct result, and I managed to get 2 points for a correct result and a correct scoreline, which means I finally won a round. I won a 2-1. So the tally at the moment is Armchair Community 27, Armchair Red 22. So I've managed to make up one of the 6 points I was behind. This week, Game Week 30, I've broken into two parts, and I've done that because it's a double game week. So what I've done is we're going to do the predictions today for the weekend's games, and then I'll do another show on Monday to do the predictions for the midweek games. So we'll break it up in two. This week we have another new subscriber, Anthony Emmett. Anthony, thank you very much for sending in your predictions. Anthony's from Port Elizabeth, South Africa. He's a massive Everton supporter. But just like me, he has an absolute love for the game. So Anthony subscribed to the channel, he sent in his predictions, and let's see how it goes this week. So let's jump into the first game. So first game of the weekend, Newcastle at home to West Ham United. So Anthony has sat a bit on the fence over here, and he has gone with a 1-1 scoreline. So Newcastle have been hitting a bit of form of late, West Ham have been a bit up and down. So I can sort of understand the 1-1 scoreline, but in my view, Newcastle at home at this point, I cannot bet against them. So for this particular game, I've gone with Newcastle 2, West Ham 1. I just think Newcastle are going to have more goals in them in this game. Playing at home, they're going to have that massive St. James's Park crowd behind them. And in my view, that's nothing but a Newcastle win. So I'm going 2-1 in that game. Anthony went 1-1. Next game of the weekend, Bournemouth at home to Everton. So understandably, Anthony's gone with an Everton win here, being a big Everton supporter. This could be an interesting game. Everton have been scoring a few goals of late. Bournemouth, after the great run they were on, have sort of tapered off a little bit. But Bournemouth at home, as I've said in previous shows, are not an easy proposition. So Anthony's gone for a 2-1 scoreline here to Everton. I think it's the exact opposite. I'm going for a 2-1 scoreline to Bournemouth here. I think Solanke's going to get a goal. Everton might squeak a goal. I was tempted to go with 2-0, but I've ended up going 2-1 to Bournemouth for the second game of the weekend. Next game up, Chelsea at home to Burnley. Chelsea have hit a bit of form of late as well, after a few mediocre performances, grabbing a draw here, grabbing a draw there. They were finally at home in the previous round. They're at home again, and they're up against Burnley, who I consistently say are probably the second worst team in the league. I say that, and they went and won last week. So you never really know what you're going to get with Burnley, but I don't think they're going to beat Chelsea. Anthony's gone with a 4-0 scoreline to Chelsea, so he reckons there's going to be a few goals in this game. I also think this is going to be a Chelsea win, but I don't quite think we're going to get the 4 goals. So I've gone with a 2-0 scoreline to Chelsea. Let's see what happens in that one. Next game up, Nottingham Forest against Palace. Anthony's gone for a 1-0 away win for Palace. Interesting call. To me, I don't think there's too much separating these two teams. I've said Palace have got a decent forward line going forward. The likes of Anthony Elanga, Divock Origi, Hudson-Odoi. Each of them might have a goal in them. And then from a Palace point of view, I think they're still riding high from the new manager. They started off well, one bad result, but they seem to be back on the wagon again. I still don't think there's going to be a lot in this game. And because of that, I've gone with a draw in this game. I'm going for a 1-1 scoreline. So we have a differential there. Next game up, Sheffield United versus Fulham. Anthony's gone for a surprising result here. He's gone for a 0-0 draw. I don't think we've had too many 0-0 draw predictions in the Armchair Challenge, so this might just be the first. So 0-0, he's gone Sheffield United versus Fulham. I just personally think Fulham are going to be too strong. Sheffield United, in my view, are probably the worst team in the league. Fulham are coming off a great win against Spurs last week. That was also away. They're playing away in this game as well. And I think this has Fulham win written all over it. Muniz, the striker, Fulham striker, is on form at the moment. Willian is back. Alex Iwobi's doing well. Robertson's whipping those crosses in from the left. So there's going to be goals in this game, and I think the goals are coming Fulham's way. So I'm going with a 2-0 scoreline to Fulham in that game. Next game up, Spurs versus Luton. A tricky one to call. Spurs got hammered by Fulham in the previous round. Luton scraped a draw. But Spurs being at home again, it's kind of hard to bet against them. I know Fulham gave them a bit of a hiding at home, but Spurs at home should generally equal a win. Anthony's gone with a 3-0 scoreline to Spurs. I'm also going with the Spurs winning this game. I think they're going to bounce back from that horror show against Fulham. But I don't quite think there's going to be 3 goals in it. So I've gone with a 2-0 scoreline to Spurs in that game. Next game up for the weekend, Villa versus Wolves. Birmingham derby. As you know, anything can happen in a derby. Villa are still fighting for Champions League. They're 3 points ahead of Spurs at the moment. Spurs do have a game in hand. Anthony's sitting on the fence again with this one. He's gone for a 2-2 draw, which is maybe understandable considering it's a derby. As you know, anything happens. But I just think Villa are going to have the bit between their teeth. They had a scrappy result against West Ham in the previous round. I actually went for a Villa winning that game. But I think at home they're definitely going to bounce back. Ollie Watkins, Leon Bailey, Yuri Tielemans. Tielemans scored twice against England in midweek in the friendly. I just think there's more goals in that Villa team than there's going to be in the Wolves team. So Anthony's gone for a 2-2 draw in that game. I've gone for a 2-1 scoreline to Aston Villa in that game. Next game up, Brentford versus Man United. So Man United coming off a good FA Cup win against Liverpool, unfortunately. Brentford blowing a little bit hot and cold. You never really know what they do. Ivan Toney's up front. He's scoring goals. He scored for England in midweek. Anthony's gone with a 1-1 scoreline here. So he reckons Brentford's going to hold Man United to a draw in this game. I just think United might just kick on a little bit after that Liverpool win. I must be honest with you, it's probably the best I've seen United play this season in that FA Cup game against Liverpool. So maybe a bit of momentum and a bit of confidence running into this game. So what I've done is I've gone with the Man United win here 2-1. I think they're going to get the 3 points in this game, as much as I hate to say it. But yeah, Man United 2-1, Anthony's gone 1-1. Then the big game for us this weekend, Liverpool at home to Brighton. If Brighton win this game, they go 7th in the league, so they're flying reasonably high. Roberto De Zerbi doing his magic again. Anthony's gone with a 3-1 scoreline to Liverpool here. So I'm glad he's gone with a Liverpool win, even though he's an Everton supporter. But this game's going to be tricky for Liverpool. Brighton are not easy. They've been a bit of a bogey team for us the last few seasons. But I just think Liverpool have gotten a proper rollicking from Jurgen Klopp after that United game. The players that were injured are now fully back. We might have Trent back for the game, which will be great. Even if he's not, Conor Bradley's there. Conor Bradley scored in midweek for Northern Ireland as well. So I'm predicting a Liverpool winning this game as well. But I'm going to be happy with a 2-0 scoreline. So I'm going Liverpool 2-0 in that game. And then the final game of this particular weekend, the first half of game week 30, is Manchester City versus Arsenal. Now, we all know how big this game is for everyone involved, not just the two teams on the field on Sunday. Because Arsenal need to win to stay top of the league. Because if Liverpool manage to beat Brighton, Arsenal need to win to remain top of the league. If it's a draw or Man City manage to win, Liverpool will go back top of the table and they will have the destiny of the title back within their own hands. So that's what I'm hoping for. Anthony's gone for a 2-1 win for Man City. He reckons City at home are going to be too strong, even though they are taking on Arsenal. I've gone with my head over here. I want a Man City win, but I've gone with my head over here, and I think this is going to be a draw. I wanted to call a draw in the Liverpool City game, but I went with my heart. I'm going with my head here. This is going to be a 2-2 draw, in my view. I think they're going to share the points. I think Liverpool are going to beat Brighton, and I think by the end of this weekend, Liverpool are going to be back at the top of the league. So that's the first half of game week 30. Let me know your thoughts. If you like what you've seen or heard today, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You'll really make my day. If you want to submit my predictions, the email address will be in the description of the video. If you don't want to read the description, armchairredtv@gmail.com. Guys, pop your predictions in, pop your comments in. Let me know your thoughts on what's going to happen this weekend. And yes, this is going to be exciting. It's been a bit boring now with the international break, but Premier League is back and it's going to be full throttle until the end of the season. Guys, that's everything from me today. Please look after yourselves. Armchair Red, out.